All right, so welcome to another fresh takeover. This is Kirk, and this is Compy.
Pete, Mr.
Nah,
Petrus
man,
Photography here.
Petrus Photography. That's what you like to hear. Let's start again. Let's start.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, welcome to another fresh takeover. I am Kirk, aka Flavor. Here is P.
Petrus Photography in the house. What's happening? What's happening?
Okay, so today we decided to have a conversation about if we knew if we knew then what we know now. So what we're gonna do is go through different subjects. We talk about photography, general life experiences, and you know, knowledge. Because really and truly, this is a learning curve, and a lot of people don't realize that you still carry on learning, regardless. And it's always
Mm,
a good thing to learn and to always be a student as well in the game, because you know a lot of people want to say they're willing to be that old dog that doesn't learn new tricks, and we hate dogs.
mm,
So, the only way we're gonna have a better mind is to carry on stimulating the mind. So
mm.
this is why me and P have decided to sit down today and talk about different things. So I think I was before I came online, I was talking to P about I recently have been watching these online conversations or TikTok and whatnot, and it's nice to see people talking about different things. Like today, um, when I say what I'm gonna say next, is gonna throw things off. I was watching this live on this app about these guys talking to this woman, and you know I can hear that. All right, basically, it's about relationships. It was about
Mm.
every person has a I mean, when you get to a certain age, you would have went through your own relationship experience. These guys were talking. There was these guys talking about how you know they're happy to be single. They're happy to be single and still go around sleeping with people. And then there was this the female saying, basically, for you to do that, it means that you go sleep with somebody and they will end up pregnant, and you don't want to be around for the child. And the guys were expressing, saying basically, um, you know, like nowadays women are different to what they were years ago. And the one was saying men are different to the way that men used to be. And it made me think that the only way these women and these men are having discussions about certain things, because all right, one of the things that the guys were complaining about is like women talk about being successful. They talk about being successful, and then you know when they get a guy, they're very insecure. And the guys talk about women being successful, or the ones that are successful end up being insecure, or you end up leaving them because such and such and such. And they were saying, you know, we don't like if we get into a relationship in the beginning, and I know that you're insecure, and we've been together for a while, and I'm okay, then you should be okay. Which made me think, if you're in a relationship, you're supposed to balance out the ship. You're supposed to balance out the ship, or there's no point in doing it. Then I went back to thinking, when these guys talk about going out and sleeping with all these women, and this is what the woman was saying, well, if you go sleep out with all these women, how do you know that these women ain't sleeping with other people? Which made me think, I personally don't sleep around because I'm worried about someone getting pregnant and me being stuck in a relationship, because I will be there with a child. I won't be one of those guys that walk away for the child. You stay there. But there's these guys out there that say they're going there to have sex, and then if they have a baby with the woman now, they're not going to be around. So it's that cycle that goes around where the 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 child that then grows up doesn't have the balance of what a man should be or what a woman should be or what the expectations as a person should have. So they end up growing up to having, oh, I don't want to be in a situation like my mum or my dad that wasn't able to make money. I'm now going to make loads of money and I'm not going to have time for anybody else. And they miss out on their morals or making morals to have, because you can't miss out on morals if you never had it. You could only miss out on learning what morals are if you've had a little bit of experience of it to learn that you missed it. So it's a very, very interesting thing, which made me think both of the scales are mocked up because there's someone that's done something to someone in their life that's made them come up with these conclusions. Because you know, I don't think anybody that calls themselves a man should put themselves in a boy situation or a man situation and not be a man. That's how I feel. Like if you go and have, you know, what if you don't like the girl enough, don't sleep with her. That's how I feel. You know, if you like her enough to sleep with her and she has a baby, then you sleep in that bed because really and truly you've developed another life. Um, it's a bit like on the other side with women is that if women keep complain, if sorry, not complaining, if women keep saying that men are going to treat them a certain way, how are they going to expect things to change if they ain't, they're brushing everyone with the same brush? So a lot of the things, and I'll go back to my own thing. If I knew then what I knew now, I think on on where I am in a relationship or how I was when I was growing up is like everyone's trying to find that person. Everyone's trying to find that person, and you spend a lot of time trying to find that person, and you forget about yourself. So you spend lot of time trying to find that person, and you know, thinking, oh, you know, this is what I get when I get this person, but not think about what you want. Like generally, the idea is everyone grows up thinking, I want a ride or die, like someone that's there for them, like, but not realize what stages that they need to have them there to be there for them. Because you could be like, do you want them to be there financially, emotionally, there when you have the good day, there when the bad day, you against the world, you, you um, being able to embrace her into your family. There's loads of different levels that I think a lot of people only think of it to that point where, you know, when you have it now, we are work on it. When we have it, we are work on it. And then when you have something, you don't realize it's the wrong thing until later on when when you're out of the situation, when you're like, you know what, like it's only after this relationship I've learned something, versus when you're in a relationship where some people like when you're in a when I'll put it out there, when you're in a bad relationship, you know, a lot of the time the man is trying to please the woman or the woman's trying to please the man, and you can never please the person because they're not happy. So you're always taking that blame. So when you get out of it, you realize that's that kind of toxic because you know it's about a balance. Like it's, as I said, it's like balancing the ship. Like if someone's had a shit day, other person's supposed to come, or it's supposed to balance the ship that people are supposed to stand in the middle of the ship so it's afloat. Versus you know, someone's trying to sink the ship, and you've got to try to go and grab the person from shipping making the ship capsize. You're trying to pull them in, and then a little while it becomes comfortable, and they slide back down there. when and some people don't realize that that's when you have to let the ship like let the person jump off the ship, because if you don't let them jump off the ship, then it's both of you drowning, and one made a decision on you drowning and you didn't really want to do it, but you was that loyal to the situation that you like you didn't think about the the common sense level of it of yourself. You're like thinking, oh, I mean that person until you're broken up, or and when you're broken up now, you're thinking about yourself. Um, in fact, you're thinking about the situation until you find yourself again, or find a different level of yourself, and you're thinking, nah, that ain't happening again. Like, I letting that happen again, sort of thing. So if I knew what I knew then, that's how I'm gonna end that. If I knew what I knew then.
Yeah, it's I think from the those guys going around and doing what they're doing, I think the way I see things is not an excuse anyway. Not having probably are raised by a single parent. Maybe their father's not around. They never had a man in their life probably. But still it's not an excuse. At the end of the day, God Creator gave you the common sense and brain. But I think they're just doing it for the I think they just like those guys, those kind of people they're like toxic in a way. I think it comes with that. So it's they just lost those kind of people. That's how I see it, really, to be honest with you. It's like lack of direction in the life, lack of insecurity should have probably. I think people, they do things out of confusion. They're confused. They don't know what they're about because nobody's was there. It all depends. Like the foundation is very important when you bring in a child to this world. If you're not going to be there in the presence of that child, yet alone, like in the Western life, the way we live in our life, we have our children left over of them, whatever's left of them. Like we work Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturday, and you
Yeah,
only get to see your kids on the weekend, Sunday, once a week,
yeah.
because most of the time they're in school doing, whatever
Hmm.
what they're doing. So yeah, alone, to be with them at least, like, majority of the day you can't even see them. On top of that, this person does that. It's just, I don't know how people sleep on it, and like, having kids there and there. It's just, I was in the situation where I was, you know, I was in this relationship. I knew this person, but she already had a baby from another man, and I was like, this was when I was young, back then, and like, the father wasn't around, but she never, like, she had communication with him, but she wasn't in relationship with him. But when you're young, you just do things, stupid things. So I was like, I was there in relationship, and the kids is seeing me in and out, you know. So I was like, one day kind of hit me. I was like, this child is gonna be confused. They don't know who his father is, and he's seeing me in the presence. But like, and me, I love kids. I get attached to quick, you
Hmm.
know. And one day it hit me. I was like, nah, man, this is like, his dad needs to take care of him, you
Hmm.
know. So there was a lot of, anyway, ups and downs, and I just like, what? And on top of that, the person was actually, the mom was a bit toxic as well. So I was like, what? I'm not gonna put myself in that situation where I can't even handle. I can't take it, yet alone. I'm still growing. I don't know myself.
Yeah.
I don't know who I am. I'm still in that journey, yet alone to take care of another person's, no disrespect of for him, like, to be in that kind of situation. But you have to take risk. You have to have um like critical thinking, to yourself, like, and 10, 20 years. You have to see it that way. So I think it all comes down to, and again, it goes the same with other way as well, because women's, the way they doing their things, the way they showing their pictures, like nowadays, sorry to say this, but you don't have to go to porn site, man. You can go. Instagram became like a porn site because they're revealing themselves, like, full naked and everything, you know. So, and on top of that, you're looking for a man who's gonna take you seriously, you know. You put in this kind of stuff on social media, and you're looking for a serious relationship. You gotta, you have to kind of like, come on. You're just looking for, just quick, one night stand thing, then that's different story.
Well, what I've taken from both of the situations, and even what you're
Mm,
saying about women wearing, you know, you have to go into porn site because people are showing flesh. I think that the
yeah,
lot of the thing is that I think some people get lost on thinking about basic stuff. Like
yeah,
when you want something,
mm,
you don't look at it from another person's point of view. You want
mm,
something thinking that your point of view is going to be the one that gets you what you want.
mm,
Um, it's like, for instance, if we talk about things like wearing certain outfits, and we don't see
mm,
us, we don't watch ourselves like other people, because a lot of the
mm,
time, like, if you love yourself, you'd be looking at yourself and making sure that you look a certain way. But if you just see an outfit and you're like, oh, I like that, and you get a picture
mm,
taken, when a picture's taken, it doesn't really get concentrated on it. It just it gets put up. Um,
mm,
but people don't always look at it in like a statement. They don't look at it like, oh, that person looks like blah blah. I mean, I
mm,
I I, I tell you the truth as well. Like me, I think it was like last year or maybe the year before. I had the attitude like I don't care what anyone's got to say what I wear. Like I'm wearing what I
yeah.
wear want to wear because I'm comfortable, sort of thing.
And for
Um,
guys, different probably, but
yeah, but
yeah.
we can say it's different for a guy, but
Mm,
I think a lot of the time, yeah, you do have people that just want to have sex and the rest of it. But I think
mm,
a lot of the time, people wear what they want to wear. And
yeah.
it's not because they want to be judged on what they're wearing, it's because they feel
Mm,
it's okay for them. Um,
mm,
not realize it's deflecting what they want, because what they
mm,
want is more than what they're wearing. You know?
mm,
So it's almost like having your best friend with you all the time. But
yeah.
your best friend will always, when you're single, your best friend will always be that guy that will go and take the person that you like. So you're
Mm.
left with the crumbs. Your best friend, well, you take what you like, so you're left with the crumbs.
Mm,
To the point you have to
mm,
realize, like, okay, like my best friend keeps on doing this. Like, there's
mm,
two problems. Why is my best friend doing that? Why am I calling him my best friend? And at the same time, why am I bringing someone something that's stopping me from being able to get what I want? I'm letting that person get what they want. You
mm,
know. Um, Back to thinking that I don't think I think it's important that men and women have good friends in their life that
mm,
express how they see it, because really and truly, if if you are a guy and you're getting judged by a woman that doesn't know you for Adam, and
mm,
when they're coming across it just sounds disrespectful, you're just gonna take it as disrespectful. It might not be that. You're just gonna take
mm,
it as disrespectful. Just like, you know,
mm,
just like if a lady is wearing something and another
mm.
guy just goes, "Oh, you're dressed like you want me to go touch you and blah blah," you
Yeah.
know,
But
they're gonna
technically,
take
that's
it.
what they're doing, though,
No, no, no,
without
but
them
but but
psychologically not
no,
noticing
no,
that.
but I think I think for all of us, we think it's deeper than it is. But other
Mm,
people, like, I mean, there are people out there wearing tops that are men and women wearing tops that are 3 times the size of what they could fit in,
mm,
because they like that top,
yeah.
you know. And it's not
Mm,
about, and they can't see what you can see. They just see what they
mm,
have in their head,
mm, mm,
on how it makes them feel about something. Like, you know,
yeah.
the person that the in. the most insecure person will probably want the most attention.
Yeah.
So if a person is looking at them, they feel a little,
Mm,
they feel away, like, yeah, I can take the day. You know,
mm,
if they have more if they have more so-called positive stuff versus negative stuff, like if they
mm,
get three guys going up to them, say, oh, uh, you slut,
mm,
and they might have, I don't know, 90 or 70% people saying, oh, you look good, oh, you look nice. I mean,
mm,
even if it might not be expressed the way they want to express it, it's
mm.
what they're hearing. Like, oh, this guy said it looks nice, you know, and
But
they
that's coming looking. So basically, you're looking sort of what you're looking for, basically validation. Without that means you're not insecure of yourself. So why even go there? You know?
I think that we all look for validation, but
Yeah.
we all look for it in we a lot of people don't know where to get their validation from,
Mm.
and that's
Rest from social
that.
media, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what social media does, is that social
Mm,
media, it's a bit like for instance, when MTV Base originally was put out there, it was I think it was managed by a black female.
mm,
And this black
okay.
female, you would think a black female would not let those hip hop videos go on the thing. They'd be uh,
Mm,
against it, and and
yeah.
and and words and gangster rap and all the rest of it. But
Mm,
she's there, she's just there, just letting it happen. Yeah.
mm,
So
mm,
and then you got other different avenues as well, like magazines telling you this is what you should look like. Um, there's never really positive stuff. There's not really that
yeah.
much of a positive stuff, and at the same time, you have that, and then you have the other side where people say negative stuff completely. Not like a middle ground where you have a discussion and like
Okay.
someone asks the person like, "Why do you wear that outfit?" Or do you, like I wouldn't wear that outfit because I feel like I would get this, and then someone can go like, I relate with you, like I understand why
Mm,
you wouldn't wear the outfit, and now I won't wear the outfit because you've like opened it up for me, and you've also expressed that I'm only gonna get a better man as if I look after myself, or if I look at myself a way that I want other people to look at me and have respect for,
mm,
because all of these nice, sexy outfit, blah blah, is
mm,
is is themed to be out there what sex sells, and it does sell because it
yeah.
gets the people a lot of attention.
Attention.
But it never tells a magazine or
The true character of that person.
yeah, yeah. So you never know how to react on a true character as a person. A lot of the time, someone that gets hurt and that's willing to carry on and not give up
Mm,
is the
mm,
person that would probably be able to give the most good advice because they've been through it versus those that like I mean what like I said earlier on about the guy and you said about the lady is what
mm,
a guy that's going to sleep with a lady just for the sake of what she looks like is someone
mm,
that's been hurt. They don't want to
mm,
be hurt again. The way that they're able to go sleep with someone, because once a guy sleeps with, unless you can't have kids,
mm,
why are you sleeping around with everybody? Because there's a chance that you got like whether you're strapped two times or three times, there's still a chance of you
mm,
impregnating a woman.
mm,
You're not going to stay around because you have selfishly disconnected to what the situation is, you know
yeah.
and for me, this is why people just pay for sex. If they're gonna be like that, they should pay for sex, because once you paid for sex, there's a different thing that gets sorted out. The lady gets checked out. The lady has pill. There's things in place,
Mm.
and there's no emotional track. There's no emotional connection. You
Mm.
know, because really and
But
truly,
friend with benefit.
yeah. But even then, that's still a situation where like I say I'm not going to judge anyone else, but I say in my views, like I could not sleep with someone and not have any feelings for them. Like
Mm.
if I can't respect or enjoy your time or whatever. I can't deal with it at all because really and truly, my thing is that potentially, even if you tell me I'm gonna have a child, potentially, if you were to tell me that I'm gonna have a child and I decide not to stay, the child can look for me whenever.
Of course.
You know, the
Mm-hmm.
the I will be old one day,
Mm-hmm.
and old one day where I can't do anything about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't really like the idea of karma. I rather like,
Mm-hmm.
I do something and I do the best that I can versus just
Mm.
open up the doors because, you know, if there's a lot of guys doing that and they're willy-nilly to say they're gonna do that, they shouldn't really complain that women have insecurities because
Mm.
it's people like that puts insecurities into women. Because really and truly, you know,
Mm.
you butter up the situation because no one just goes outside and goes, a lady just walks to them and go, "Oh, I want to sleep with you."
Mm.
And a majority of guys don't go out and just go to a lady and go, "I'm going to sleep with you," and it just happening. It would just happen. There has to be some bit of legwork, whether it's five
Mm.
minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's months. There has to be legwork in it.
Yeah.
So the emotional ball has been rolled, and no one can
I
say,
think
"Oh,
because what's happening, people they're missing out is like now that, well, my mind, the way I see the world is a bit different. And whatever you commit to that person, whatever you're doing with that person in the bed, literally is a spiritual thing you're doing, is exchanging, you
yeah,
know. So before you know it, you are literally you're gonna have soul tie, you know. And most of the guys or most of the ladies that what they doing this, why they taking this kind of action is of lost, you know what I mean? Like they're lost. They lost meaning like you cannot control your urge,
they're getting
you
what they
know.
can get."
Yeah, they get, you know what I mean? So it's like controlling emotionally because it takes literally you exchanging energy. That's what you're doing. So that person is toxic, and probably let's say I'm that cool dude with good energy and everything. Before I know it, first you get to see the character. Just they just show you, they mask out everything, and before you know it, when the reality kicks in, 6 months down the line or a year down the line, you get to see witness the true character, and before you know, you become like them as well.
Yeah.
You know. So people they forget, and it's like it's more than just having sex. I mean, you're doing this is a ritual, spiritual thing you're doing. So what you're doing, and when you do that, and most likely you end up getting pregnant, and you'd be like, oh shit,
Well,
you know.
I think, and what I can see from them is that people are getting what they can get, and I I personally can't go like I respect it at all because you know you are literally you can destroy someone's life just like that because you went out and done
100.
something and
Mm,
someone a lot of the time people want to feel a connection and they do things just to feel a connection and
yeah.
they hope
Yeah.
as much as someone might say something they hope onto something because for
Mm,
one they don't want to be left lonely. For two, they might be getting older. For three, you
mm.
know, um, like they don't want to be in a situation where
Peer
um
pressure,
peer pressure, but more so like
probably. Mm,
in their head, they manifest an idea in their head. They manifest an
mm.
idea in their head. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's a powerful thing, you know.
and people don't have deep conversations. I believe that you have a deep conversation. I believe that um I believe if someone's not willing to have a deep conversation
Mm,
with you, you don't need
mm.
to sleep with them.
Yeah, because if a person, if you get into a relationship, like if you're in a relationship where they just telling you to tickle your ear and just tell you what you want to hear, then forget it, man. It's just, from my experience, forget it. Because I've been in those kind of situations.
Mm.
I was like, I question everything, that person does. Like, what are they actually doing that for? Like, is it like, it's just to make me feel good, or they just like, like gassing me, or what? There's a lot of things people they do just to get what they want, as you said.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's not just even a relationship between male and female. Even this goes with friendships as well. You have your surrounding. So people, they're just good at putting those displays and the photos we post. The content, like people they just put out there. And as a photographer, for me, I see like when the conversation when we're talking about ladies, they wear certain thing and they're displaying there like they are, they displaying that, but they're looking for a husband. Because I saw it in with my photography with my lens. Like I have different, like one photo you got 10,000 words. You can
Yeah.
expression to it. So like if you displaying that kind of image, and you complain to me like, or you complain to your friend, oh, I couldn't find a good man. So what do you expect? You're attracting that kind of like what you put out there in the universe. You attract it whether you like it or not. You know.
I think it goes down to like people need to ask this question on how much are you willing to express yourself? And I think when people
Mm.
express yourself, you have an idea where someone's coming from versus those that don't
Yeah.
want to talk. Because if
Mm.
if you're looking like if we're saying an example from a picture versus another
Mm.
person's picture, we just go, what's
Mm.
the difference between that picture and that picture? Like you guys are posing the same sort of wearing the same sort of garms or the same sort of outfit. What's the difference? And the only
Mm.
difference is when someone's willing to express stuff. Like, if someone puts a
Mm.
capture about something like, I'm dressed today like this because, I've not had I've never been comfortable enough to be able to wear this outfit. And today I'm wearing this
Mm.
because of me and blah, blah. And all of that
Mm.
information there tells more
Mm.
than the picture, you know.
Mm.
So you've opened yourself and expressed in your story versus it
Mm.
just being like somebody else.
Mm.
Um, but it's very deep. It's very deep that you know.
Because I remember what his name Gary V was saying. Yeah, I'm sure probably about Gary V.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying like um there will be a time where social media will expose it will expose people what a true color is, what who they really are, and it's actually started too because we already saw it when the pandemic came, and we see everybody's, because we cannot communicate verbally with a human being, another
Uh-huh.
person next to us. We just slash it down on social media, and that's when, and it's so easy nowadays. Just well, some people they just judge you through the social media, the thing you post, even when you're getting hired for a job, whatever, you know. So I think I think this generation we're in right now, we kind of lost conscious. We moving with that conscious. We just moving on autopilot. Like we're going what's popular, what's on demand, what's trending. But we don't really look within deep inside. You know.
I think a lot of people are afraid to be deep because they've
Mm.
never expressed it, and at the
You're
same
not
time,
ready for the truth.
and and they don't have enough people around them because
Mm.
you are the people that are around you, and
For real.
you're supposed to learn from the people that are around you. And a lot of
Mm.
people, you can't expect them to be any different if they're learning from their environment. you know
True. You,
so
you become you become part of your environment.
well, you are your environment. Unfortunately, you are your
Mm.
environment, and the only way for you to be better than your environment is for you to look outside your environment. um
Mm.
so with that being said, it's then a different mindset. But you know
Even the influences we have, that's a problem as well. That plays big role. The influences, what they're actually influencing, what like,
Yeah, but it all goes down to the word of influence. The word
mm,
influence versus what an influencer truly is. Like, if you're talking about social media, a lot of it is glorified salespeople, which as you know, Kim Kardashian, if she's selling a new, um, if if one of her, or her sisters are selling a new makeup thing, they will
mm,
influence to make the money on that. And
mm,
you know, anyone that's seeing things from that out view and looking outside the box will see that the influence on that. It's a bit like
mm,
how keeping up with the Kardashian shows keep going on. It's
mm,
it's um it's not even influencing it. It's you know bringing interest. You should have interest in, I'm going to carry on the interest. What are we going to do to make it more interesting for you to carry
mm,
on? You know, obviously they know that they know that if they start educating and talking about different things in there, they're going to lose their views.
mm.
So, for instance, they're keeping it as a great business, and
Keep their stimulation running.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Mm,
the thing is, in the end of the day, it's a business. So,
true.
when you look at things on a business sense, then you're able to
Mm,
see things clearly. Like everybody that is looking at influencers have to look at it
mm,
through a business sense and to see if they're
mm,
really influencing or not. Because
mm,
the true influencers are not looking at things as sorry, don't matter so much about thinking about the money influence, because they know that, you know if you watch a powerful talker that's going to talk for free and then sells
mm,
tickets to their event,
mm,
that is the person's left the door open for two different things. You know,
mm.
what you're paying for now is exclusive access versus
Yeah.
the access that you would give to the world. So,
Mm,
it's a choice. You can do this, but and I'm giving this blah blah, but you can see what you're missing out on. So,
yeah.
versus, you know, a social influencer is someone that's looking for themselves more than the person that is looking at. It is,
Mm,
and that's where the visualization, or the mindset of thinking about, is this a business, or is this a influencing set? The word
mm,
influence, the word influencers, I don't think that like, generally there could be 90 influencers, or so-called there could be 100 influencers on Instagram, but in
mm,
reality 90 of them are salespeople.
mm, mm.
you know
I
um
hear.
and those that are truly influencers are the ones that would have enjoyed life to a point that they don't need anything from you. So they want to
Mm,
express. If a billionaire comes and starts talking to you about, him being a billionaire, he's already done
mm.
the stuff. You don't need
Yeah.
to, you don't need no really money anymore. Once you've got
Mm,
billionaire, he should be in a place where they invested in money, that they can have these conversations. They don't need your money
mm.
because they already have the money. You
Exactly.
know, like,
Mm,
the ones that don't have money, are the ones that are trying to influence,
mm,
and trying to gain money, or use the term
mm,
influence. Um,
mm,
you know, I specifically don't like the word influence. I mean, I know
mm,
that that's a term that people use to gain interest, but the way
mm,
the way I know what an influencer is versus what um is converted to be an influencer is two different things.
mm,
It's a bit like, you know, like us being a color that we are, and then someone using the N word and saying, "No, it's a cool word now." I mean, we know
mm,
what the word was, so
mhm,
it's no, there's no, it's you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't cook a bacon sandwich and then serve
mm,
it to someone and say it's steak. You can't.
mm.
You can't. It's
For real.
it's different. You can't tell a vegan that,
Mm,
this chicken tastes like sweet corn. You can't.
mhm.
So
That's
so like,
delusion.
it is delusion. But the thing is, some people are so deluded that they might have not tasted sweet corn in their life, or whatever in their life, but they
Talking about
listening
the
to, say again.
yeah, talking about delusion, yeah. Uh, the the other day, um, I was on the bike, just just passing, just traffic light stopped me, and I was like, so the guy coming is not overweight, but it's like I'll say it was like late 50, and the guy's on the phone and he's walking the road. There's traffic light, and I saw him. He was going left and right, and he's holding his phone. He's just looking at his phone and he's walking at the same time. I'm thinking about next thing I know is at 10 round, the guy's on the floor. I'm thinking myself like, yo, dude. I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't know what to do. I felt bad, like to laugh or something like that.
yeah,
By then, because I was on the bike, there's other two guys. They came in to help him out, and the other guy laughed. I
yeah,
was like, that's how deluded we are. Like we're stuck on the phone. We can't even walk straight. And yet, imagine he was if he's on the road. He's like he's on the pavement,
yeah.
and there's on a traffic light. So that's how we became like literally walking zombie. Like we don't use our brain anymore. That's how.
It's that. But I look at it like this: like the
Mm,
person that has got the person to be on the phone has
yeah.
done the job.
Mm,
The person that has got the person to stay on their phone has done their job. If you
yeah.
end up falling over on the floor,
Yeah.
when you got your phone, you decide if you're gonna
Who's
fall
in
over the floor.
control? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it a phone control or you? Who's in control? That's what.
but that's the thing. Like, if you could control something, just look at the phone, and you trip over, you're on the floor. Then the person that was got you to look at the phone has done their job. Like,
Literally.
and you let them do a job over you, that you're on the
Mm,
floor. That's how much of a good job they've done. You
good.
know, and
I
it's
don't know what he was looking on the screen, but for him to end up there,
mate. Like
and it's
today,
daytime as well. It's not at night. That's the thing.
yeah. But the thing is, it's we have to be reminded. We have to be reminded about things. It's like today, I was outside with my kids, and we were walking on the road. Like, me and my kids have got into playing Pokemon Go, which is literally you have to walk around to catch Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I see this car coming, and
Mm,
like I'm walking across the road, and I see what, like, I can calculate the speed of the car coming, and I push my son to the other side of the road, and my daughter comes running past me. I'm like, did you even look at the car? Did you look at the car? Like, you run past me. The
mm,
person's looking at me. You run past me. They don't even see you because you just went like that. They see me. I'm
yeah.
like, because really and truly, as a bike rider, as
Mm,
a car driver, as someone that walks, you kind of get to a point where you
mm,
should calculate how fast something's going, or how much of
yeah.
a risk something is.
Well, she's a kid, so yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
like
that.
that, but for me, it's
Mm,
like you know, you running over there, and not realizing where you could have just waited to see if you can make it to the other side, because people don't make it to the other side. They're trying
no.
that thing of rushing to do something and not make it to the other side.
Mm, mm,
So I told her off about that. And then we walked across the road, and I'm like, she follows me across the road with my son, and my son's looking left to right, and I'm looking left to right. And then I'm like, did you even look at the driver? Did you even look at the driver? Because really and truly,
yeah.
we know it's about, the eye contact more than
Mm,
anything else. The
yeah.
eye, if someone runs you over and they give the eye contact, then you know
Mm,
that either the person is malicious, but at the same time, you know what that means. That, like, when that person gets arrested now, you could be like, yeah, that person was looking me in the, like, I looked that person in the face, you know,
mm-hmm.
for cross and blah blah, and that
Yeah.
that's your money or whatever. That's your person. That, that's that
Mm,
person's life in your hands, basically. So
yeah.
like, but my mission is to make sure that, like I said to her, I said, that device there, whatever device you have, you can repair it. But
Mm.
you, it's not so easy to repair. Like, even if you
For
break
real.
your bones or whatever, you can't get this.
Yeah.
You can't. You don't. Your bones don't fix back up like that.
Mm.
It's screws or whatever the thing
Mm.
they want to put into you to, and it's not as good as the original.
Mm.
Unless you got really big money and you can become a bionic man or whatever. But it's still not as good as because the original. So
Yeah.
the thing is, I think generally, we need to be in touch. You need to be in touch with the world, and I think
And we lost that, man. I
we
think
well, I wouldn't say we're lost that because
we're
forever we
starting.
forever we have those that understand, and then you have
Mm.
those that overstand, and then you have
Mm.
those that don't even need to say that overstand. It's an understanding thing. So,
Mm.
you're open to the possibility of everything. You're
Yeah.
listening to everything, but also listening to nothing, as well as listening to
Mm.
nothing and listening to everything. So,
Mm.
you have that much of a open vision that you don't need to take too long calculating your decisions because you've already calculated your decisions in whatever
Yeah.
situation you go into. It's like if
Mm.
you go to a shop with your partner and you're in your head you might think, okay, so what happens if two-man try whatever? In your head you've already calculated on how it's gonna go down. It don't mean
Yeah.
that's gonna happen, but you calculated that you need to
Mm.
calculate that, or you've been in a situation when you don't know what to do. So you have
Mm.
to,
Mm.
some people call it overthinking, but you got to think about a situation, or someone will take advantage you know,
Mm.
of you, and that goes with everything. That goes down
Mm.
to you know those that are humble, those that are
Mm.
evil, those that are they want to take advantage of you, those that um want to get what they feel is the best for themselves. You just
Mm.
have to be open and
I
prepared.
mean, especially now, the time we're in, everybody's like just, they're just grabbing what they can because there's a job loss and, I don't know what to call it, recession or whatever. A lot of things going on. So people, they do by any means necessary to get what they want, you know. And there's a way to do it. There's a smart way and there's a stupid way to do it, you know. So you have to pretty much, we need to learn like to stay, like kind of protect your energy. But people, they're not aware of that, obviously, because you're too busy, you're caught up, if the phone is making you drop from the floor, you just, buckling over a phone. What does that tell you, what is technology is doing?
Yeah, but
So,
you've got that in that point of view, it was technology. In other point
yeah.
of views, like you can have religion that does the same thing, where
Mm.
you could go to one church and the church
Mm.
person isn't the preacher isn't as interested in who's made it to the event more than to think about how much money that was raised that day,
Yeah.
or you can think about a community event, and
Mm.
the community event person will think, how much people did I get to volunteer for free? So there's
Mm.
there's always, you have the technology part of it, but it still goes down to someone taking advantage of the situation at the time. Um,
Mm. Mm.
which is a thing where you generally have to go, okay, what is it like? What is it that they try like that I want from the situation? Um,
Mm.
how am I gonna make sure that I don't do what I don't want to do for longer than I want? Because people talk about plan,
Mm.
and sometimes you don't have enough time to plan. That's what people say, they don't have enough time to plan, because really and truly, when you're panicking, you don't have enough time because all you're thinking about is panicking and getting out of that
Mm.
situation. And,
Mm.
you know, the person that will tell you not to worry about something isn't the same person that's going to tell you, um, I'll sort it out so you don't have to worry.
Mm.
Because as soon as someone says, I sort it out so you don't have to worry, that opens you up to be clear enough to be able to think clearly.
Mm.
If someone says, don't worry, What is that doing for you? Like someone says, don't worry about it.
mm,
Okay, I'll worry about it. If I don't worry about it, it comes down to twofold or fourfold on it because at that moment you was worried about it and you thought they could fix it. But when someone
mm,
told you not to worry about it, you stopped worrying about it and stopped caring about it, and then it became worse. You know.
mm.
So so
It's like it's like nobody does it better than you. Just gotta do yourself.
it's that, but then at the same time, it's you know, it's me and you know this as a fact that the jobs that they have in customer service jobs,
Mm,
not everyone wants to do it, but someone needs to do it.
yeah.
You educate people too much, no one's gonna want to do those jobs. Yeah.
No.
Um, you tell people their choices in life, everyone's gonna pick the best choices. They give you two stacks of choices and going, you know,
Mm,
we can pay you more for doing less, but we can do more and earn less.
mm,
Reality, if you show people like that,
mm.
everyone's gonna want to do this one.
Yeah, of course.
No one's gonna want to do this one. So
Yeah.
what they do is they take away this one, so all you
Mm,
got is this. So this is your
mm,
option. No one looks for anything else because really and truly, no one's saying there's anything else out there for you to even
mm,
think about that. You know,
mm,
and then if you ever do think outside the box when you go, there must be more than this,
mm,
someone will tell you that it's not going to happen. So you go back to here. So everything that you dreamed about and you visioned about,
mm,
it's just a dream, and people stay in that dream space. So and at the same time, it's like if you work in this, I'm just gonna go. I'm using customer service as a example because there
mm,
are places where customer service they're getting paid
mm.
more than the average customer service that there's people doing customer service that you wouldn't even know those jobs are out there and they're getting paid ridiculous amount of money. Uh,
Yeah.
but you can be like let's say a supermarket or restaurant.
Mm,
The manager is not going to teach you to be a manager
mm,
because if you become the manager or learn how to be the manager, then that manager has to up their game.
mm,
That manager is comfortable. You don't want to up their game. So what does the
mm,
manager do? The manager makes your life harder.
mm,
Then the manager tells you, oh, um, you know, I'm looking after you. Blah blah. You've got you've got holidays that you're entitled, or you can't work on Sunday, or you
mm,
can't get the day off on Sunday, or you remember when you booked off them 2 weeks, blah blah blah. Now you can't have it
mm.
because unfortunately, uh, Gemma can't make it, or Stephen can't make it, and we really need you, and blah blah. And you get tied into that guilt. You get tied into that guilt.
Psychological game.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're thinking in a place where no one's gonna do you wrong,
Mm,
like we're in the same team,
mm.
you don't even see that because all you
Yeah.
think is like, oh, that person's asking because they're really desperate.
Mm,
So you stay and do whatever. And then years later
mm.
on, when you find out whatever you found out, you'd be like, that guy's a bastard, but you can't do anything about it. You just move on from it. But
Exactly.
but 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 this is why I say with society, I don't think, yeah, this generation or our generation is experiencing it, but I
Mm,
know that there has been people in our age years ago saying the same thing, and there's gonna be
mm,
people after us saying the same thing. I think what it goes down to is developing a space to let people know that there is more out there. There's
mm.
more out there. I mean, this is one of the things that, like I said to myself, I ain't joining TikTok. Not joining TikTok at all.
Yeah, I remember.
and that's one of the last things I do. But
Yeah, tell me about it.
I joined TikTok on the sense of the business level, and also to
Mm,
see all like see the different options on there, like what is
mm,
on there for me versus what's not on there for anybody else.
yeah.
Like for me, I don't mind reading stuff, but reading takes too much time. I'd rather someone say something to me and I can take the
Mm.
knowledge, read their body movement and the rest of it, and I know how to move forward. Like, if you
But
got
reading is
like
that's where the gold is. That's the thing. See, you mean like I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated it reading, to be
yeah,
honest with you, but it was just recently, the last year or 2 years, I started learning stuff that like forget the education system stuff, actually reading, go making a way and doing reading what interests you.
yeah,
And I've just learned it, just stimulating in my brain a lot of new subjects, about how the conscious mind works. This is the stuff that you don't learn in mainstream, basically. Even you paying 20 grand for university, you don't learn anything about that. How to build a business, how to do, those all the stuff that you're not gonna find in the education system. So reading, I think, well, it all depends. I think everybody got different way of learning anyway as well. You know.
I find it like this. I find it like this,
Mm.
the reason why I say, you know, and I'm not talking about like a book versus a movie or TV series. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like like it's like when you text somebody and you get a
Mm.
text back, and in that moment you're trying to read where they're coming from emotionally, you know, and
Yeah.
and and unless it's straightforward, a lot of the time, even the straightforward stuff could be seen wrong versus when someone's
Yeah.
expressing something. When someone's
That's what I
expressing
the
something,
life communicate. Yeah.
yeah, when someone's expressing something, you can get so much more things from it.
Mm.
Even when someone's confident, you can see that they're confident versus like thinking in your head what a confident person is. You can
Yeah.
see they're confident.
Mm.
And when they're expressing something, you can see the levels of the tone. Like, is it angry,
Mm.
or is it passionate, or is it you know, and
Yeah.
even anger and passion could be the same thing, but tone tone by a different key. One's
Yeah.
angry and one's passionate versus
Mm.
reading it in a book. You have the idea of you have an idea of what you feel that they're trying to teach you.
Mm.
So so for me, you don't listen to one person, you listen to many people that will make you
Yeah.
have your perspective. Versus
Mm.
if you read a book, you have your own perspective. The only
Mm.
time the perspective changes is when you talk about that book with somebody else and they're able to tell
Mm.
you about their perspective about it. So
Mm.
this is where um
Modern way of learning.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, I think the greatest ways of learning, it's like if you want to be a really good cook, is to not read about the cooking. It's about doing the cooking, and it's about doing it with the
Yeah.
person
That.
that's teaching you.
Yeah. Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you might say your mom makes the best blah blah blah.
Mm.
Your mom has to teach you. You trying to read what your mom did will never
Mm.
get you to the place where you were exceed to do the same thing that your mom did. You know,
Mm.
and even then, I trained how to be a chef. I worked
Mm.
with different chef people, and watching TV and having experience it. I can't really say fully to myself that it was I learned it for myself. I didn't. Like, I had
Mm.
many different teachers, whether I took it on or not. Well, sorry, whether I realized self-consciously I took it on or not, I took it on
Mm.
because I watched my grandma cook when I was little.
Yeah.
I watched my both my grandmas cook. I watched my uncle cook
Mm.
in Jamaica. I watched my dad and mum cook. I've watched so many different
Mm.
cooks. So,
Mm. So,
and I also
register in your
know
brain.
that. Say again.
I say registers in your brain.
Yeah, but you don't realize that it registers on your brain. So, like,
Mm.
if you cook for someone and they go, "Oh, your food's really really nice," and you say
Mm.
thank you,
Mm.
unless someone asks you deeply, like, "How did you cook?" and they go back like, "Okay, so you said you studied that. But how long have you been cooking? Like, how many people have you been cooking with? It's a bit like
Mm.
when someone says, you know, how you doing? And you answer, are you okay? You say you're okay. If someone asks you, like, are you really okay? It then makes
No.
you think even more, but it makes you think even more onto that question.
Mm.
And then you
Mm.
elaborate on that.
Mm.
So then the person really has the answer that they should have asked for versus the
Yeah.
answer that you give them, because you feel like a lot of the time people ask me if like I'm not saying me, but people ask me
Mm.
if I'm okay, and I say I'm okay, because in the back of your head subconsciously you might think, really and truly, they don't even want to know what they're just being being nice. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know,
But that's what. But going back to how you been coping with the with the creative work on photography, the fact that now, how do you see the future in the photography world?